Hello, Kriti. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Roshan. Thank you for inviting. My pleasure.
How how has been your day so far?
It has been wonderful, a productive day.
Hmm.
How about
It's
you?
Sunday.
Yeah,
Well, apart from this conversation, there is nothing productive to do. So I'm really looking forward to it.
same here. Let's see.
So before we continue it, let's introduce ourselves. Then, all right?
Hmm? All right, not an issue. So, hi everyone. This is Kirti Gola, the founder of Profound Careers. Basically, Profound Careers is all about the language, soft skill training, and career counseling. Talking about my professional experience, I have been in this particular field from last 4 years, where I have been fortunate enough to train more than 800 people nationally and internationally. That's pretty much about me. If you have got any question, please feel free to ask.
Yes. And would you like to know about me?
For sure. Go
Uh,
ahead.
my name my name is Roshan, and I am from Bihar. I don't have anything to brag about, like I'm doing this or do that. Sorry, you were not bragging about, but I don't know the exact phrase, how to rephrase it. All right. Right now, I'm pursuing a degree in English honors. I haven't received my degree yet, so I'm still the final year student of graduation. And currently, I'm working in a school to pay my bills. At the same time, I'm running a YouTube channel where I talk about books, movies, and I talk to strangers. Call it Sasta Podcast.
That's really wonderful. That's one of the ways to practice, the language and everything. Good.
Yes. So thank you for joining me. Like I watched your podcast and like right away I searched your name on Instagram because I couldn't find you somewhere else, and I reached out and thank you for accepting it.
It's my pleasure. That was my first podcast, and it is my second one. So thank
Yes.
you for the good feedback.
Talk to us about your I don't know how to phrase it. Like what you are doing at right now, career counseling. Is it
Uh,
called career counseling?
yeah, it is. It is called career counseling. Basically, I'm an
Hmm.
ESL and TEFL trainer too, where I
Yes.
train nationally and internationally people on their language, particularly on English.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
how long have you been doing it?
It's pretty much 3 months, 3 years now.
3 years. Great. So how did your journey start? Like what made you to decide to follow this career? Like right now I'm really confused, and like me, most of youth, or you can say youngsters like me, they are confused that which path to choose and what to do in their life.
Hmm. So, to be very honest, I also did not know what to do.
Hmm.
I created this one for myself.
Great. So like what was the inspiration? How did you tell yourself that I want to become?
The only inspiration was one day I joined a course, an English
Hmm.
course, where I found the person is speaking in English, talking in English, walking in English. The journey
Yes.
started that I want to be like her. Her name is Miss
Great.
Vinu Sagar. So I
Hmm.
want to be like her. From there, the journey got started. In the middle, I realized that I am not even this much near to what I want to be.
Hmm.
Then I started working so hard, 18 hours of day. I used to study, work, completely listening, reading, writing, finding, looking at the kids' book to learn the grammar and everything. Then it took a year, to master. I wouldn't say that much master, but this much that I can choose that yes, this is the path I want to walk on.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's where I worked in the year 2018 to 19 on this language. Uh,
Hmm.
at that time, I was in my graduation, basically.
Hmm.
So once my graduation got completed, then I was actually looking forward to know how the things work, how people channelize, how the
Yes.
things, how they do the things. So I
Hmm.
got into the counseling psychology.
Great.
Took in a master's counseling psychology. From there,
Hmm.
I again realized that this field is again very big. I can go in counseling people on their mental health, counseling people on their other aspects. But then I felt that since I struggled my career, so I should go
Hmm.
into career counseling. From there, I joined
That's really
a
cool.
short certification, and since then I am learning counseling, teaching online. Everything is online for me. This is the
Great.
my office, my room, and everything.
I think you are always trying to find a space for yourself, right? You are doing so many things. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Even see, I have been so good learner since starting. This is one
Hmm.
of the qualities I found when I started my journey.
Hmm.
So since then, whatever I get to learn, whether it is technology, language, or
Language.
anything,
Hmm.
I just think search on Google, go about it, done.
And I think it gets, I felt that way while I was watching your video, that podcast conversation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that if I would approach you, I'll get a positive response. So that was the reason I approached to you. And I wanted to ask, this particular question from the moment I wanted to talk to you was
Mm-hmm.
how, like, if you had to convince somebody to follow their dreams or to choose something that they are interested in, but having burdens of financial issues or not being able to surround themselves with the kind of environment it requires to do the things that they want to do, what would you tell them?
First of very all, I would ask the person, why do you want it?
Hmm.
The person's why is so solid.
Yes,
No matter,
definitely.
no matter
Hmm.
the financial issue, the surrounding issue, the procrastination issue, any issue wouldn't matter to the person. So
Yes.
the why should be solid. If the person doesn't have why, then I'll ask the
Hmm.
person, please go ahead and find your why. Once you are
Hmm.
done finding your why, come back to me. I'll help you
Hmm.
with the oils of financial and other issues.
That's cool. Like I'm not much into self-help books, but when I was in class 12, I read this book called Ikigai. I think you
Mm-hmm.
might have heard of that book.
I
Uh,
did.
it- it's a Japanese term, Ikigai, where we find our reason to actually wake up every day. I was really like for the first few weeks after reading that book, I wanted to do certain things. But once, like I stopped doing that actual activity which you mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
While you started taking interest in this language, you put 3 years, straight 3 years, right?
Nope, 1 year.
Hmm. 1 year.
Yep.
So,
I have
uh,
been teaching from 3 years, but the first year I first learned. In 2018
yes,
to 19,
definitely.
I learned. From
Hmm.
19 to now, I have been teaching and maybe going in the field.
So that's what I wanted to ask. Like, what was your why? That
My
I want.
I
Hmm.
told you my why. I wanted to be like that person. But in the
That girl. Hmm.
yeah, you can call her my mentor. So it
Hmm.
is started from there. But
Hmm.
thereafter in the journey, I realized many things that I am not at all good enough. In the middle,
Hmm.
I mentioned it in my last podcast as well. I
Hmm.
was asked a question that okay, what exactly you wanna do? But I didn't have the
Hmm.
answer.
Yes.
Trying to find that why and why and why, I actually got my why, that I wasn't
Hmm.
good enough anything. So I created one, that this language,
Hmm.
and from there I kept on learning, and I even say I am learning right now too.
Hmm.
Anything. Even
That's great.
this year I have learned web designing.
Web design. Yes, I have heard the term. Like
Hmm.
it's. I think it's something related to creating your own website, right?
Yes. Even the website you see, like my
Hmm.
website, that is created by
Hmm.
me.
That's really cool. Kriti, I wanted to know something regarding your personal life. That how do you manage everything, having a professional life, and how do you keep yourself, balanced that work life and personal life?
My work life and personal life are same.
Same.
My interests are actually same. Let's say if I have to have the free time, so I
Hmm.
don't need to go, like I don't need to particularly find that. My interests are
Hmm.
same: watching web series, interacting with people, like in language I go to hello talk. If I feel like I need to interact with somebody, or I need to calm myself down, if I am not having very finest day, or if I need my own time, I'll sit,
Hmm.
read, sleep,
Hmm.
whatever it is. Talking of my other household things,
Hmm.
my mother helps me in that a lot. She
Hmm.
doesn't force me a lot, but whenever it
Hmm.
is needed, I would go and do that. But yes, I do have some hours which I give over there. But the
Hmm.
days I can't give, so she manages so well. So I would give the
I
credit to
think
my mother in that
I
case.
think we are in a similar situation. My mom takes care of every household chore, so I don't even have to cook, clean. She's doing everything for me. Another question regarding, your language learning process. You mentioned web series, TV shows. How important it is to find a space for ourselves, especially in context of learning a language with entertainment.
Hmm. See, till date, I watch a lot of English movies. Even
Hmm.
I don't remember watching Hindi movie last. I don't remember. I haven't watched so far. It's been 4 years pretty much, but I don't remember when I watched the last Hindi movie. So
Hmm.
it has actually become my genre anymore. If I even start
Hmm.
watching, I don't find interest. It's not I'm bragging or maybe something. It
No, no,
is
I
just
understand. I totally get it.
because I in that particular year when I was learning, so
Hmm.
almost 24 into 7, I used to sleep around 3 hours, 4 hours, likewise only. So the complete environment was of English. Even
Hmm.
this was that next year I found myself struggling in Hindi,
Hmm.
speaking in Hindi. But then
All right.
a lot of people actually said that she has got the different attitude. Even now, if they meet me,
It's
I would
going mad.
if I meet somebody now, I wouldn't come
Hmm.
down to Hindi. If they know English,
Hmm.
I first language which would come out from my mouth is English. A lot
Hmm.
of my friends do ask me, "Don't you know Hindi?"
Yeah.
I
I
do
get it.
know,
I get it. Hmm.
but the thing is, I feel much more comfortable talking in this. I express myself now in this better than Hindi. It's not
Yes,
I
I
don't know,
understand.
I can't speak it. I do know
Hmm.
everything, but I don't know why it sounds a bit rude to me when I speak myself to myself only in Hindi. I don't
Huh.
know why I do it. So it's just
I
the
think it is because of the exposure. You have exposed yourself to the language so much that it doesn't feel natural anymore, right?
I am not sure what's the reason, but it is how it is. A lot of people even end up thinking that I
Hmm.
do it, intentionally to make them feel down or something, but there is nothing like that.
Yes, yes. Like I also used to believe that way, but I have trained myself in a manner that if I'm talking to my friends, I talk to them in Bhojpuri, like to my mom, to everyone. But if I'm at work, I speak Hindi, and people like you to make content here, I speak this language. So I think we have to, adjust ourselves. But in your case,
That is
hmm,
actually happening. But I'm talking about the year when I like after that year, 2018 to
hmm,
9. After that, I found myself struggling, but now it's
hmm,
completely fine. I do talk in Hindi. I
hmm,
can switch so nicely, but it's still, if there is a professional environment, only this language would come out. Hindi wouldn't even be coming out, not even a single word. So this is how
uh,
it is. And maybe I
hmm,
feel it is good when I'm teaching, because this is what I have learned. If you are learning English, give yourself environment of English. If you are learning Hindi, give yourself complete
hmm, hmm,
environment,
hmm.
right? If you're
Yes,
learning French,
definitely.
there is no benefit of learning French, listening to all third language, four
Hmm, hmm.
languages,
If you're
because
not using it,
it is a process. To learn a language, you need to work on four aspects: reading, listening, writing, speaking. Where
speaking.
I consider listening and reading very important.
Kriti, I find your story very similar to mine, but I was not inspired that I wanted to learn this language. During COVID, I was, you could call, like I was certain. All I was doing was watching anime, TV shows, movies, like from the globe. But I watched even Hindi too. It was not that I was just watching English and English. I loved Korean movies, Japanese. I used to watch, everything which was in original language with the help of English subtitles. So I think this was the reason why I was able to comprehend this language. But I was never inspired that I want to learn this language. But because of internet, because of exposure, like people like you, I thought that I can also make it in a formal way.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you see it as your future? Being on the internet, being a counsel career, how do you want to use internet here?
See, I'm using actually my everything. My company is online.
Hmm.
If somebody asks
So like,
where is my office,
mhm.
this is my office.
All
And
right, all right.
my room is something which is actually completely my office and everything.
No, no, but like I wanted to know in a manner, like, do you want to ever go offline or do you want to put your office somewhere where you can get students in real life?
For sure. See, right now it just got started.
Hmm,
I have targeted first of very fall very big number where I can first earn
hmm,
train more and more people, because see the whole idea of keeping it online to cover the countries. Right now I am covering four countries: Sudan,
great.
Australia, Dubai,
Hmm,
and UK.
hmm,
I want to cover different countries because right now on my venture there are two
hmm,
languages: Portuguese and English.
hmm,
I want to keep French, German, and every single language if it is online, sorry,
hmm,
offline. there is a possibility where I can't cover the countries. But if it when
Yes,
it is
yes.
online, I will be covering the countries which I'm doing right now too. So
Hmm.
this is the whole idea of keeping it online. Speaking of
Hmm.
offline, yes, in future I will have a office offline. But if
Hmm.
only if somebody wants to meet, they can come down to office. Else, everything would run online.
So, how many languages do you know?
I know Hindi and English, but Portuguese is taught by my brother.
Hmm.
In future, very soon I'll be enrolling. Maybe by the end of this year, I'll be enrolling in French.
Great. So, how do you plan to learn all these languages, keeping your company here?
To learn French again, it's so simple. Everything is free.
How? In
How?
internet.
Yeah, everything. If you go to YouTube, type basic level French,
I don't-
you
yes,
will
yes.
get everything. So actually, I started. I think past in the 2 months back, I started it,
Hmm.
but thereafter I got a bit busy starting my company and other things, so I couldn't. So what I would do,
Hmm.
I would formally enroll myself so that in my brain know that I am enrolled in this. So I have to work. It is not something which it can skip.
Hmm.
It has to work. Okay, so
All right.
that's how I will be enrolling and working online.
And how about your media preferences now? Now that you are a working professional, how do you find time for, for movies, TV shows?
Night is there.
It is there.
Night is there. See,
Night is there. All
yeah,
right.
night is there. It
Hmm.
is just the way it is. I'm a bit
Hmm.
night person.
Hmm.
If I would do everything at night than morning.
Don't you feel ever guilty about watching those movies and like it feels like I could do something better? For example, I could read something, I could learn something.
The thing is, for me, watching web series and movies are not for fun. For me, they are the
Hmm.
learning tools. That's the thing.
Great. So, do
I
you make
never,
notes while watching those or what?
I don't make exactly notes, but it is
Hmm.
always, it always happens actually. Whatever
Hmm.
I would be seeing there, let's say I have learned a single word. That word I
Hmm.
will come across in my daily life 10 times automatically without even trying to learn that. It has happened a lot of times, or you can say the coincidence or something, but it does
Hmm.
happen.
What would you Yes, go on, go on.
Recently, I came across a phrase called truth be told, which means to be honest.
To be honest. All
Yeah.
right.
And this
Hmm.
complete phrase I got to hear like in my I got to see in my reading, hear
Hmm.
somebody speaking in the same web series 10 more times. I would hear again, it is
Hmm.
fixed in my brain now. Now I
No,
don't
I
use
want.
to be honest, I would
Hmm.
use truth to be told.
Truth to be told. You know, I see people struggling with subtitles. For example, if they want to learn English and they want to consume the language, but they are struggling with reading the subtitles. They think that they cannot do both, like watching and reading at the same time. Well, what will you suggest to them?
They don't have to read the subtitle. My
Hmm.
subtitles are always on. Oh, on at this point of
Off, on or
on
off?
on. Right now, if
Yes,
I watch, it would be on, but my focus wouldn't go there because
yes.
I'm able to understand. So that's what I said. To learn this language or to any language, first they need
Hmm.
to make their ears familiar with the language. The more
Hmm.
they are in habit of listening to that particular language, the
Hmm.
much they can comprehend.
Definitely.
Okay, so
Hmm.
when I started this, I used to listen to the language at least 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours continuously.
Hmm.
Even I would, when I would sleep, I remember I used to put the earbuds,
Hmm.
sleeping and listening. I am actually partially sleeping, the voice is going. The main idea is
Hmm.
to make my ears familiar with the
Familiar
language.
with that. Hmm.
That's all.
So you are always conscious of, training your brain to be in that language.
Yes, even I hardly spoke 50 words in that particular year of Hindi. Means in that particular year, I spoke hardly 50 words of Hindi. So this is the
You are
environment
completely into it. You are completely into it.
I was at that time for sure, no doubt. Because see, I had this idea in my mind that I want
Hmm.
to be good at something. I wasn't.
Hmm.
And since the moment I got the exposure of this language, I feel I can tackle anything to everything. And I do.
Yes. It appears on your face right now. You look so confident. You are speaking in a manner. It feels like you have been doing it for such a long time. So all credit goes to you.
Thank you so much. It all
You know,
credit goes to the hard work and the person who
yes,
gave
yes.
me the role model for sure.
So, like, have you told her that it was because of her that you have become this person now?
She knows it.
How was her reaction? I want to know, like, how did she react to it?
She knows it. We are in touch. She is
Hmm.
the role model, the good friend, and everything.
Hmm.
We keep on talking. So I even told her in writing too that this was the
That's
real
cool.
reason.
That's really cool.
The
Hmm.
reason it got
Hmm.
started, but in the middle you held a lot, and she was the one who helped me a lot to be here where I sit today. So we must not forget to give the credit.
Definitely, definitely. I like this question might sound some kind of like I'm a romantic person in a manner when it comes to this language. I really
Mhm.
like to write and like I have never given a letter to somebody. So
Mhm.
how have you ever received one? Like something in written form?
No, I have had, as told, I have trained many students. A
Hmm.
few days back, I was cleaning my stuff. In that, I
Hmm.
got these many thank you letters.
How did you feel? Like how does it make you feel?
It made me remind of the time when I was teaching offline. Like I used to
Hmm.
teach 80 students in a 80 students in a day, 20 per
Hmm.
batch, 4 sessions.
Hmm.
It reminded me of the day I joined. So they actually wrote me the welcome note. When I left, they wrote me the leaving note. So those things
Yes.
are piled up in my stuff that made me feel
You-
so, reminded me of everything,
Hmm.
what I did, how I did. Then it again gave me the motivation to do whatever I'm doing.
It may sound like awkward or odd to people who are listening to us, but where I was teaching, the students were at beginner level, like their writing was not at that level where they could even construct sentences. So I worked there for a whole year and I made them, able to write a few lines, made them able to comprehend this language. So when I was about to leave that place, I gave them a feedback form. I didn't tell them that I was leaving that place. I gave them a feedback form and I told them that you have to write at least a paragraph. It was my way to ask them, to show
Get
me
the one.
something that I have taught you. I
Mhm.
really felt nice because like the feedback I got, it was really genuine feedback. So in that's why I was talking about like how does it make you feel when you receive those feedback forms or like something in writing?
That actually,
Like
mm-hmm.
hmm,
Please.
for example, if somebody is approaching you in real life or like sending a video recording, it
Mhm.
also feels nice. But how about writing?
That's what I told. It gave me the motivation. So again,
Hmm.
I when I'm starting the thing, there are again more ups and downs. So
Hmm.
it's not always I'm motivated or something. So
Hmm.
2 days back I was cleaning, those reminded me of the stuff, those that actually reminded my journey, the moment I started, how I started, how I left, how I started my first job, and everything. It reminded me, so it felt good that yes, they were the people I taught probably. And then I could also reflect, then yes, now they are working somewhere better. Somebody is working in
Yes.
MNC, somebody is somebody has started their own thing, somebody is working somewhere wherever they wanted to. So it made
Hmm.
me feel good.
That's great. We have talked about your career, like how do you do your how you are managing your company now and all those stuff. We have talked about your media preferences, but I want you to suggest something to the viewers, your favorite TV shows, your movies, or your favorite books by which they can improve their language.
Um, in terms of favorite, I have got nothing. But if I were to
Hmm.
suggest something, I would tell them that
Hmm.
listen to something which is of their genre. Let's say
Yes, something they are interested in.
my genre can be romantic. My genre can be, maybe I'm interested in biography, but their genre can be
Yes.
completely different, right?
Hmm.
So never go with other genre. Go with somebody your own genre.
Hmm.
Speaking of the novels and the web series, they can watch Money Heist, Wednesday. A lot of good series are there which they would find interested, because
Hmm.
see, while watching it is not at possible to understand every single thing, and that is completely
Hmm.
okay. Okay.
Yes.
It is all about the much you can get it from there.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you are able to get 70% of it, that's okay. If you are initially, if you are able to get, let's say you are completely a beginner, But
Hmm.
today you are getting this much, which means maybe
Yes.
2%. Tomorrow you are getting this much. Day after tomorrow, this
Yes.
much. After that, this much. This is the journey you would climb. But if you are thinking that today after watching you didn't get anything, and like it's not a
Hmm.
my cup of
Give up.
tea. Leave it.
you, you,
It's not.
like you might have heard of Fight Club. So I always tell my students, to whomever class I'm going, that there is a single rule for comprehension: don't stop. Even if you're not understanding anything, you have to keep going. You will have, eventually you will find yourself in a situation where you will able to comprehend without the help of dictionary, without the help of a teacher or a trainer. So this is what I tell. First rule of comprehension: never try to understand. Just let yourself be there. Exposure is the first thing. So Kriti, our conversation has been for about 26 minutes, and I don't think the viewers' attention span is that good to watch our full video. So if you want to ask anything, you can. Otherwise, we will wrap this up.
Ah, that's completely okay. May I just tell you something?
Go on.
My name is not Kriti. My name is Kirti.
Kirti, I have been calling you Kriti.
Yes,
Sorry for
I
that.
wanted to tell.
Yes.
After that, you were asking a question, so I didn't feel like interrupting. But it's the
All
first
right.
time that I did not tell somebody. Okay,
No, no. Like it is written clearly, Kriti here, but Ki,
Kirti, Kirti.
Kirti,
Actually, the
and I.
last
Hmm,
person was
hmm, hmm.
Kirti, so that's how I think you're mistaken over here. But that's completely okay. Leave it.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, all right. Thank you for your time, Kriti. Kirti. If you,
Thank you. Thank you, Roshan, for inviting. It was nice talking to you. I hope these tips and other talking help people out.
hmm.
Thank you so much.